Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, electrolyte solution. Nice. Nice. Day 5 of the Daybreak fast. Actually, noon will be 5 days. The last meal was Sunday at noon. How do I feel? Good. I'm grieving a little bit, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. The week went by like it was nothing. First day, no problem. Second day, very lethargic. Third day, nothing. No hunger. Now, I didn't experience hunger or thirst for the whole 5 days because I've done this before. None. Zero hunger, zero thirst. None. Absolutely none. I was in the right mindset. And I find that, like, you don't start bench pressing 300 pounds right away. You start bench pressing 80 pounds, 70 pounds, and you add weight to the bar as the months go on. And then you're lucky if you can bench press your weight by the end of the year, by the end of a year of training. And then you just go up from there. The same thing it is with fasting. I've done 1 day fasts, 2 day, 48-hour fast, 72-hour fast, 3 days. At the end of 3 days, I would say, gosh, I could easily do 5 days. And I would do 3-day fast like it was nothing, like it was nothing. Always generated new ideas during the fast, always. And I knew this time I wanted to take it to another level. So I've done 5 days. The first 3 days were dry, which means no liquid at all. That was the only thing that I think, I never got tired before, lethargic. Never got tired, and that was on day number 2. And unfortunately, I was in a training at work for 5 hours while that was happening. And that was it was a challenge to get through, let me put it that way. Let's see what else. No hunger, no thirst, slept great. Did not have to get up in the middle of the night to pee, obviously, because with fluid restriction, if there's nothing coming in, there's nothing coming out. Today it's a little bit late. It's actually 6 o'clock now. I was lingering in bed. And I stepped on the scale yesterday, and what did I lose? About 13 pounds. So I know probably another 2 will be gone by this afternoon. So let's just say 15 pounds, just gone. Gone. Now, people say, are you afraid of losing muscle? No, because I have a lot of fat in my body. I don't know what my fat percentage is, but I know I can be lean, me, at 5'11", and I was, believe it or not, I was 6 foot when I got my driver's license. And now at almost 60, I'm 5'11", and I know that has to do with just shrinking and compression of my vertebrae. So I went from 6 foot to 5'11". No matter what I do, no matter how tall I stand, I'm 5'11". So for me, lean at 5'11", very low BMI, would be about 170, 175. But I do have a lot of muscle on me. And so for me, 175 would be almost, I would look like I'm starving. I would look like I'm sick. 185 is lean, trim, comfortable. Everything just works great. The body looks good. Lean, fast. After that, and I've lived, believe me, I was up at 260. Now, this is not a weight loss fast. This is a spiritual fast for me, and I'm just giving you the physical effects. So for me, not having, like over here, I have these bins with pet food in them, and I get 30-pound bags of pet food, 30-pound big bags. I was carrying 2 of those around at all times. I can't even imagine that now. Blows me away. Now, this was a few years ago. Now, I maintained at about 215, 213. If I could get below 200, I was woohoo, happy. Now I'm way below 200, and I feel good about that. But that's good for my height. I feel good. And when you lose weight, body fat, you do look more muscular. That is the reality. You might just be doing calisthenics, push-ups and dips and squats and, you know, that kind of stuff, and not lift weights. And even if you lose body fat, you look pretty muscular. If you have muscles, then it looks even better. Luckily, I have the muscles, but what I'm opting for is, believe it or not, I was in a XL, size extra large shirt for past 16 years. And only last year did I work my way down to a large and then to a medium. So I've been a size medium, believe it or not, for about a year and a half now. Medium size shirt. It's pretty cool. And I just feel lighter. I don't feel like I'm thump, thump, thump when I walk. I just feel I float more. Now, here's the spiritual. I'm grieving a little bit. And that is because I am missing the insight that I have. My satisfaction didn't come from food, drink, coffee. You know I love my coffee. You know I love eating. I love eating out. I love eating Mexican. I love eating Italian. I love a good steak. And that provided a lot of good feelings. The ritual of cooking, the ritual of eating. I was telling someone yesterday about the ritual of a steak dinner and having a glass of red wine. Just magnificent, magnificent. None of that happened in the past week. So it was just me and my body and God. Not a lot of frills, not a lot of extra thought going on. I defeated the food thing, defeated the thirst thing. That's gone. So what works now is, what's working now inside of me is, there's grief. Because I'm leaving this state and going back to the state of having emotions revolve around food. I remember just like pushing away from a dinner going, I feel good, happy. And my happiness came from the satisfaction of a meal. Now, my satisfaction purely came from the Lord, discipline, my thoughts, my introspection, my reflection, and I'm going back to a physical world, from a spiritual world to a physical world. It's weird, and it's creating a sadness in me, knowing that I'm going to eat later. I'm not, believe me, it's been 5 days. I'm not like, ooh, I can't wait to eat. People are like, what's going to be your first meal? I don't really know. Because, bottom line, I could go for another 5 days. I have zero hunger. I can easily do another 5 days. I'm not going to, but I very easily could. I've only had, the first 3 days was a complete dry fast, no liquid at all. The last 2 days was just 2 liters, 2 of these. And I've lived on thoughts, prayer, reading. I still had to go to work. I still had to operate in the world. And not unlike monk mode, I do believe that the best way to fast is to get away. Just get away. Go live in the woods. Luckily, there's the Van Gogh room, which is kind of like my going out in the woods. And that is, it just reminds me of being alone and having solitude and being alone with my thoughts. In the beginning of your daybreak fast, you're going to find people that are like, why are you doing that? Like, someone said to me, I never met anyone like you. Okay. And you're never sure if that's a compliment or an insult. And then people talk about food, and then they say, oh, sorry to talk about food. I know you're fasting. I didn't care. I totally didn't care. This was not a weight loss thing. I'm not tempted by food. You could put a cannoli and a cup of coffee in front of me right now, and it would not tempt me. I'm actually grieving. I'm leaving behind 5 days of peace that I haven't had in a long time. And I know I probably will be creating a course about this, about doing a daybreak fast. But I'm grieving right now. I'm actually sad that I'm leaving this. And I could get so used to this. Now, obviously, there's going to come a point where I have to eat, obviously. But fat is food. As long as you have fat on your body, your muscles aren't going to be wasting away. Your body's not going to turn on itself. When you have no fat on your body, that's when you got to start worrying. As long as you have fat, any fat, your body uses fat as food. Remember this, fat is food. Fat is food. So the man that I am right now, the personality that you are watching, that you are seeing, that you are hearing now, experiencing, is the true me. No caffeine, no food, no substances, no frills. It's just me, and I love it. I love it. If you look back on my Twitter in the past week, past 5 days, there's a difference. It's more introspective. I feel more compassionate towards people. I feel loving. I want to be in love. I want to serve. I've become selfless. I haven't become more of me. I became less of me, which is kind of a neat feeling. I literally came to the conclusion yesterday that fasting helps separate your needs from your desires. Just such a huge difference. You don't need your coffee in the morning. Think about how many times you say, oh, I need my coffee, or I need this. You don't need anything. Fasting shows you. You desire coffee in the morning. Fasting breaks the relationship between you and food and water. Breaks it. It was interesting. What did Jesus say after 40 days? Man doesn't live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. How interesting. You're not even interested in food, but you're just interested in wisdom. This is the last of my solution. I'm going to show you what I did. Hold on, I'll get my ingredients and show you. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to show you the electrolyte solution that I use. I just filled this up with filtered water from the refrigerator. And I put in 5 ingredients. I was telling someone yesterday about the ingredients and I left one out. And that was the potassium. But one, I take boron. This is just basically from borax. It's not laundry detergent. I know you've seen this as laundry detergent. It's not. It's actually the element called boron. So I take a pinch, literally, what I can pinch in my fingers. And that goes in there. I take magnesium, which is just Epsom salt. A pinch, a pinch. I take baking soda, a pinch. This is a liter bottle, so a pinch. I have no salt, which is actually potassium. So I'm going to pour a pinch in my hand. Just what you can pinch with your fingers. Maybe just a little bit more. Put that back in there. And then a pinch of Himalayan pink salt. Take it out of a salt pig. I keep this right by the stove to use when I'm cooking. And then I get a, sometimes I will get Propel, which is this is a non-sugar electrolyte mix. And what I do is I will put just 1 tube of it in there. Remember, you have to get the one that has no sugar because you don't want any sugar spikes, okay? And that'll add a little flavor to it. But what you're not doing, otherwise it just tastes like you're gulping salt water, and that's a nasty. So that's my mix right there. This will last me probably until this afternoon. But I've only had 2 of these since Wednesday. So there you go. There's your electrolyte mix. That's what you use. And then you'll notice I'm not sniffling or sneezing, thanks to the bromelain, and I will put the link for it down below. 1 of these a day, usually at night, stops all sniffling, sneezing. The reason why I don't use honey, because I know honey does the same thing, is that I don't want to spike my sugar with the honey. During the fasting time, I literally don't want sugar in my body at all. So I was looking for something that would help the sneezing, because you remember me for like the past month, sneezing and sniffling and watery eyes during the entire Daybreak show. Bromelaine, which is a enzyme derived from pineapples. I'll put a link for that. Let me get a sip of my solution here. I will say this on Tuesday. The lethargy came from the lack of electrolytes. And Wednesday, when I had my first sip, I felt it come back. It wasn't true lethargy. I think it was just brain weakness. Your brain and your body operate on all of these salts, believe it or not, all of those different minerals. And if you make a mix like this, you will never need another sport drink ever in your life. In the past week, I have been to the gym twice. The first workout was stretching, the second workout was stretching, and I did the machine circuit. I didn't want to do free weights, so I just did like this machine circuit, working all the body parts, and I feel good. But let's get started. I will be putting together a course on the Daybreak fast. Next year, as in 2020, in another year, another month and a half, sometime in early 2020, I'm going to be doing a 10-day fast, either a 10 or 14-day fast. I'm not sure yet. And I will be documenting that as well, about the benefits of fasting and what it does for you, separating needs from desires, resetting your body. You ever have to just turn off your computer and restart it? Hit a reset button. That's exactly what I've done in the past 5 days. In 1975, they were an Ohio rock band. They were in Pittsburgh at a club called the 2001 Club. Their fans wanted them to play more dance music. As they were starting their second set, the drummer said to Rob Parisi, the lead guitarist and singer, he said, "Hey, play some funky music, white boy." He stopped and he wrote that phrase down on a bar order pad. Wild Cherry, the band, was on their way back to Cleveland. Rob was listening to the Ohio Players' song called Fire. He then conceived the beat, the rhythm, the tongue-in-cheek lyrics of the song that we now know as Play That Funky Music. It's one of the biggest selling singles and the most played dance songs of all time. Now you know the rest of the story. You can't get a cup of tea big enough or a book long enough to suit me. C.S. Lewis. Lord, forgive me for making telemarketers want to quit their jobs. When telemarketers started calling cell phones, I just have a way of, and I have to stop this, I have to just say, sorry, not interested, and hang up. Rather, I would get, they would push my buttons because the calls are not welcome. And I went through this thing of humiliating them for a while, just humiliating them. And I know they're not getting paid a lot. And I know they want to quit their jobs after they talk to me. And I have to stop that. If you're a telemarketer, please forgive me. I am that guy. Sometimes you want to get higher. Sometimes you got to start low. Ted Nugent, Stranglehold, 1975. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if 2 lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Ecclesiastes 4. What a beautiful picture of marriage. Keeping each other warm, helping each other. getting a good return for your labor. Right now I sleep alone and I bundle up. You'll see I still have my bathrobe on. I was cold. It's been cold out. It was about 12 degrees outside. And I don't have the heat vents on in my bedroom. I like a cold room. I want to be warm under the covers, but I want the air to be cold. Helps me breathe better and I just feel better. But that means you need to have some pretty good covers on your bed. And I keep the home a little bit cooler than usual. I'd rather just put on a sweater. Nothing like the sound of a horn in a band, like a horn section. Like, what would Chicago be without the brass? What would Blood, Sweat, and Tears be like without the brass? Think about it. Sitting in the Van Gogh room, 12 degrees outside. It was 50 degrees inside. Hooded sweatshirt, black wool cap, warmed by a propane heater, reading my tablet by an oil lamp, a candle lit on the table, and all I have to say is this: the warmth and light of fire is amazing. It's primitive, but it's amazing. Fire. Fire light, fire warmth, fire energy. When you have motivation for something, what do we say? You have a fire in you. When someone's angry, you're all fired up. When someone gets terminated from their job, they're fired. I don't know where that came from. But think about it. Fire is synonymous with energy, warmth, light, comprehension. Imagine yourself living as a house. You thought you were going to be a decent little cottage, but he was building a palace. C.S. Lewis. Whatever you do, do not follow me on Instagram at George A. Bruno. Whatever you do, don't follow me there, please. Don't follow me on Instagram at George A. Bruno. Fasting, like I said, is the only activity that separates true needs and desires. Major lesson learned this week. A woman who loves and respects a man who loves and leads a woman, what could possibly go right? I was thinking how incredible the Patriarch and 22 convention are going to be. Simply groundbreaking. Something for all men and women who want to be solid people, spouses, and parents. And who knows, maybe some couples, new couples, will emerge from that weekend. This day, 3 years ago, I had this beard. And with that, finish your electrolyte solution, and I'll see you Monday morning on the Daybreak Show, the home of sanity, clarity, and reason.